everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hi. Today's video is going to be my March reading wrap up. I only read 8 books this month, which the past 2 months I've read double that plus maybe even a few more, so I really didn't read that much this month, but that is okay. I finished the Kings of Quarantine series at the end of February, and I had such a bad book hangover from that, and then I was watching Ginny and Georgia on Netflix, so I didn't pick up a book again until March 13th. I will also have my Goodreads linked down below, so if you want to follow along that way and see what books I read before I post my monthly wrap-ups, you can definitely do that. So we're just gonna get right into it. The first 2 books I read were the last 2 books of the Briar You series by Elle Kennedy, The Play and The Dare. I rated both these books 4 stars. I just liked other books in this series better than these 2, so that's the only reason that they got 4 stars. Demi has a boyfriend and he's cheating on her, and she's actually paired up with Hunter for a school project, and then they just kind of grow closer. She ends up breaking up with the boyfriend because he ends up cheating on her with someone that she's close with, and then her and Hunter kind of just end up together. It's really cute. I really like this one. Then in The Dare, it is Taylor and Connor's story. Taylor is in a sorority and they're very mean to her there, and Connor plays hockey. I should have said that too. I think if you guys know the series though, you know all the boys play hockey in it. But at one of their sorority parties, she actually gets dared to go up and kiss Connor, or I don't know if she gets dared to kiss him or to take him upstairs. I don't know. I don't remember. But she gets dared to do something with him. And then they end up not doing anything. They just like talk to each other and they form this really good friendship, and then they end up fake dating, and then it turns into something more. Like I said, I liked both of these books. I just liked other characters better in this series. I was actually sad to finish this series and I put it off for a while because this was the last book in it and I thought there wasn't going to be any more. But on September 21st, Elle Kennedy is coming out with a 5th off-campus book. So that is exciting. These are part of the Briar You series. The off-campus series is like the original 4 guys, and then they graduate, and then the underclassmen are in the Briar U, if you don't know. But yeah, I read these. And then I picked up Aiden and Amelia by H.L. Swan. These were both actually Wattpad books, and I could definitely tell in the writing that they were from Wattpad. I feel like now that I've read more books, I can kind of just tell between bad and good writing. And it's not that this writing was bad, but you can just tell it's not like a Colleen Hoover book, if that makes sense. But I rated this first one 4 stars and this one 5 stars. This one was, in my opinion, way better than this first one. It's about this girl, Amelia, and Aiden. Amelia has this boyfriend. He ends up cheating on her, and then her roommates, also her best friend, her brother is in town, and he kind of like witnesses the whole thing, and then he just kind of gets like protective over her, but he has a lot of secrets. There's like mafia in here, there's murder. It's a little crazy. But yeah, overall I think they're really good. If you liked After, you'd probably like these books. I just feel like there wasn't a lot of like description. At one point in this, she gets kidnapped, and I feel like there's just like not a lot of detail to it. Like it was like she gets kidnapped and then it's like 1 page on it, and then all of a sudden he's like there and like picks her up. Like I feel like in other books, if you get kidnapped, it's like a chapter or 2 being kidnapped, you know? I don't know. After that, I read Archer's Voice by Mira Sheridan, and this I think is one of the best books I've ever read. This might be in my like top 5 all-time favorite books ever. I gave this one 5 stars. So Bree has been having some struggles in her life. Her mom passed away of cancer. Her dad recently got murdered, and she kind of just needs a break. So she ends up in this small town of Maine, and she lives in this cute little cottage on like the lake. And then she's got this cute little neighbor named Anne, a little old lady. She gets a job at the diner. Like, oh, I just love small town stories, and this was so cute. And then she goes to the supermarket and like some stuff falls out of her bag, and she goes to pick it up, and there's this boy helping her, and she's like trying to like talk to him and stuff, and he's just kind of like looking at her like he's not saying anything. So she goes around town, asks a little bit about him, and his name is Archer Hale, and he was in a bad accident when he was little with both of his parents and his uncle. That left him unable to talk. They weren't able to fix it. So Bree's dad is actually deaf, and so she knows sign language, and so she goes up to him one day and like tries to talk to him, and it turns out like he taught himself sign language, but nobody else in his life knows it. So he like learned this whole language, and the first person that he's able to talk to is Bree. This story is just so heartwarming and so cute. and I just love it. But yeah, if you just want a feel-good book that's cute and has a good message to it, you definitely need to read this one. After that, I picked up Serenading Heartbreak by Ella Fields. This is also one of my top favorite books that I've read. This book was super good. I gave it 5 stars. This book is about a girl named Stevie. It starts when she's in high school, and there's this boy across the street who's actually in a band with her brother, and his parents are, I'm pretty sure they're like alcoholics. They might even do drugs. They are not nice to Everett. And Everett and Stevie kind of like grow this connection. Well, then the band ends up going on tour and she goes to college, so she just kind of loses connection with him. She just doesn't really, they don't really keep in touch. And while she's at college, she meets this baseball player named Aiden. He's really good at baseball. He ends up, I'm pretty sure he ends up going pro in here. Like, he's really good. And she like starts to have a relationship with Aiden, and it's going good. And then they go to this bar, and guess who the band playing is? Everett and her brother, Hendrix, I'm pretty sure his name was. And so then she like reconnects with Everett, and the whole book's like a love triangle. I loved both of the characters, so it was so hard when she chose, but in the end I think she made the right decision on who she picked. There's so many like plot twists in this book, I couldn't put it down. It was so good. 5 stars for this one. Then after that, I read the saddest book of my entire life. It still makes me tear up, and that's 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tillie Cole. I actually filmed a reading vlog of me reading this, which will go up, I'm pretty sure, after this video. I don't even know how to explain it without me getting like really sad about it. So Poppy and Braun met when they were 5 years old, and they just became best friends. And then I was already crying like 5 pages in, because it starts off with her grandma. She's dying and she has to say goodbye to her, and her grandma gives her this jar and says, "This is what I want for you. I want you to get 1,000 boy kisses in your lifetime." And so she's like crying under this cherry blossom tree, which, oh, if you read this, you know the significance of the cherry blossom. But Braun comes, he gives her her first boy kiss. And so she just starts collecting them in this jar. Well, then when they turn 15, Braun has to move home to his home country. So then him and Poppy keep in touch for a few months once he is moved. But then all of a sudden she breaks off contact with him and he doesn't know what happened. And then it flash forwards to 2 years later, and Poppy is back home and Braun is also coming home. I'm getting like teary-eyed. Oh, this book. Saddest book I've ever read and probably will ever read, but I think this is also really meaningful, and if you have not read it, you need to go read it. It is on Kindle Unlimited, but I feel like this book is just so special that I had to read it in paperback form, and I am so glad I did. This book deserves way more than 5 stars. I don't know if I'll ever reread it because I was crying literally 80% of this whole thing, but I will always think of this book. My battery's flashing and I have 1 book left. Think we can do it? I don't know. Just switched my battery, so if the camera angle changed a little bit, that is why. The last book that I read in March is Hush Hush by Lucia Franco. This is about a girl named Aubrey. Both her parents died when she was young, and so she only has her Grammy left, and she is in college, and she is living in an apartment with her best friend, and her best friend is a shot girl, and she makes this crazy amount of money, which her dad's already a billionaire, so like she doesn't need the money. But Aubrey does not have a lot of money at all, and she's working at a laundromat and nannying, and she just doesn't have enough money to get her by. So Natalie thinks it would be a good idea for her to do the same work she does, which actually she is kind of like a high-end escort type of thing. And so Aubrey like takes a while to like consider it. Like, she doesn't know if that's what she wants to do, but she's like fine with having one-night stands and all that stuff, so she's like, might as well get paid for it. So she ends up doing it, and then she falls for one of her clients, but she also has a doctor boyfriend at the same time. Kind of reminded me of like Serenading Heartbreak, but in that one the 2 boys like knew about each other, and this one they like didn't know about each other. And then while she had the boyfriend and the client that she liked, she was also still working, so she was like with other guys. So it was pretty good. I rated it 5 stars. There is another shorter book that comes after this. I have not read that yet. I feel like this one ended on a good note for me, so I don't know if I'll ever go read the other one. So those are the 8 books that I read this month. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already, and comment down below what your favorite book you read this month was, or just your favorite book in general. I love finding new books, and I will have my Goodreads linked down below too if you want to follow me on there. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.